Hi guys, welcome to another FACEHAMMER show. It's me, Russ the Face Veal, and in this show I'm going to be talking all things Wood Elves and going through the new Arcane Journal as a preview, as it's on pre-order now, to give you the lowdown on what's in it and why it's cool. So thanks for Games Workshop for sending me a sample so I can bring this content to you, so hopefully it's useful. Wood Elves are one of those factions that have been kind of not very prevalent on the scene. I think it's very difficult to get hold of the models, which is a big factor. There are a few people playing them. I've done quite well at some events. They've got access to some really cool units. I mean, the journal hopefully will add enough flavor and differential things to make them a bit more competitive in the meta. So we'll see how people go. But obviously, the models just being released would be a really good start for people to be able to play the faction. So let's get into the book. And for those of you just like the preload what the content's going to be, I'm not going to go over too much of the background or the lore or pictures and models. A little bit, but not much. I'm going to talk about rules really, and I'm going to go through line by line, but go through the new units and armies of infamy that are in the book and explain what they get and what my thoughts are. And that's it really. So let's get into it. So let's start off, and so I wouldn't do, is the nice little crest in the front of the book. I really like these in all the books. They've always got these nice like shield and sort of like weapon design crests. So it's pretty nice. I like the fact that these journals are beautiful. I love them. And I wanted to start off with this, which there are some pictures of models in the book, which, I mean, obviously it'll probably be announced now and people know, but this is one of the models that I really want to get hold of. I love this model. So if this is re-released, I'll be very, very happy. It might be on made to order, but if we can get hold of this, then perfect. Such a great model. It was always known as one of the best dragons. It is, I mean, people looking at it now probably think it looks a bit goofy, but yeah, I really like it. So let's go into the rules then. So basically, we've got Orion's Wild Hunt is one of the factions, and this faction is basically all about wild riders, sort of mounted troops. So it's based on the Wild Hunt. So in terms of like what you can do is you can take a Glade Lord per 1,000, Shadow Dancer, Spell Singer, a Waystalker, Glade Captains. You have to have at least 25% must be spent on Glade Riders and Wild Riders, and only one of those can be in core. So basically it's cavalry. And special is Sisters of the Fawn, but only one per 1,000 points in special. War Dancers, Warhawk Riders, Wild Riders, Wood Elf Beast Packs, which is a new unit that's in here, and up to 25% on, Way Watchers per Waystalker, Eagles, Deepwood Scout, Wildwood Rangers. So not a lot of access to bows and shooting in this. You can still take, some magic and some bits and bobs. Sisters of the Fawn are very good, but obviously you're restricted to just 2 units. So whether or not this becomes worth taking over a normal Wood Elf list will be seen. So what benefits do we get? So that's the next one. So you get Wood Elf Nobles can have talismanic tattoos. So that's the ward save. So you can give your nobles a ward. And basically you got the Spirit of Kurnos. So 0 to 1 units of Glade Riders, Warhawk Riders, Wood Elf Beast Packs can have Furious Charge and Impetuous for 10 points per unit. Doesn't apply to the mount. So can have an Impetuous unit of things that have Furious Charge. Probably quite useful on Warhawk Riders. I'm not really sure I would want it on much else. Yeah, but it obviously has the downside of you being impetuous. So, which is a 50-50, you have to charge. So whether or not you actually want that or not, I don't know. And it does cost as well. So it'd be up to 2 units you can do in 2,000 points. So then you have Worthy of Kurnos. After deployment, before the first turn, nominate a single enemy character or enemy model whose troop type is monster. and you've been marked by the Wild Hunt, all models may reroll to hit rolls of a natural 1 in shooting or combat. And you get a bonus 100 points if you kill that thing. So that's like your hunt target. Which is okay. Get the extra 100 points is pretty good if you know what your strategy is, but it does kind of telegraph to your opponent what you're going for. But that obviously has a benefit as well. So extra 100 victory point available is not always a bad thing. So, and then we have the host of Talsyn, which are basically, these are pretty cool. But these are like your kind of beastman hunter, like lots of infantry based. So you can have 0-1 Glade Lord or Spellweaver per 1,000. You can have a Treeman Ancient, a Warden of Talsyn, which is a new character, I believe. A Shadow Dancer per unit. War Dancers taken. Glade Captain, Spell Singers, Branch Race. So you're not really restricted very much in what you can take. You've got to have a block of Eternal Guard. I actually really like Eternal Guard, so I don't think that's a problem. Dryads, you can have up to 1 unit of Glade Guard per 1,000. 0-1 unit of Deepwood Scouts, maybe taking it as a chord choice, which is pretty cool. So you can get some shots in there. And then special, we've got Deepwood Scouts, Guardians of Talsyn, which is a new unit, Wildwood Riders, Sisters of Thorn. So again, pretty much all the stuff you want. So you could take Treekin, and you get 33% rare, and that's Treemen, War Dancers, and Great Eagles. So a pretty good mix of units. Obviously, there's no Wild Riders and stuff in there, but it's basically everything else. I think, if you're not taking like Warhawk Riders, Wild Riders, then these are pretty good. Then it says that a Warden or a Glade Captain can be a Battle Standard Bearer. I wonder what the Battle Standard choices were in the last list. Glade Captain, so normal, I guess. So the host of Talsyn special rules. All units have Hatred Beastmen, so that's reroll to hit. I mean, that's great Hatred if you play against Beastmen. In tune with nature, in addition to laws of magic that you normally know. So mages, Treeman Natures, and Branch Wraiths know spells for the Law of the Wilds, which is a new magic law that they've got, and it's pretty good. So that's a decent benefit. Protectors, so you can, if you control a special feature, you can reroll hit and wound rolls of 1. I mean, I don't know how often that's going to come up. I mean, I think the Command and Control uses a special feature. I'm not sure. The Wood Elf Wood, I don't think counts as one. It's just a wood. And then you've got the Awakened Wood. So it says a host of Talsyn army. Any number of units of Dryads and Treekin may have ambush. In addition, Treemen and Treeman Ancients may have ambushes for 10 points. You can ambush Dryads, Treemen, Treekin. So it's pretty good. It's like a sort of mixed Tree Host, and infantry type army, or like Wood Elf army. It's got a nice mixed army. It's based around tree spirits, and yeah. I mean, the rules there aren't, I mean, amazing. I mean, the magic law's good. Again, these are a little bit underwhelming for me, but maybe that's just because I don't play Wood Elves. So we've got the Orion King in the Woods. So obviously he's back, big special character, and he's monstrous infantry, and you can basically take him anywhere that you can basically take a, I think pretty much any Wood Elf army. In Wood Elf's army, we made an army composition of any army composition list, so you can take him in any Wood Elf army. He's 455 points, which is convenient. He moves 9. He's got a weapon skill of 8, which is pretty strong. You know, strength 5, tough 5, 5 wounds, 5 attacks, leadership 10. And you've got the 2 dogs with him as well. He's got the Cloak of Asia, the Hawk's Talon, Horn of the Wild Hunt, and Spirit Kernos. So he's frenzied, immune to psychology, move through cover, magic resistance, open order, stomp attacks. He strikes first. He causes terror. He's unbreakable. So he's pretty baller. And then the Hounds, obviously, got magical attacks, they move through cover, open. They've got the spectral helm rule, and they're unbreakable as well. They can only be wounded by magical attacks, so like ethereal, basically. So that's pretty good. I assume that Orion's not, because that would be disgusting. So he's got the cloak gives him a 5-up ward, and on a start your turn on a 5+, he recovers a wound. Once per game, he can sound the horn. For any units in his command range, gain frenzy, and you can even regain it if you've lost it. He's got the Hawk's Talon, which is a multiple shot D3+1, 30-inch range. At his strength -1 AP. So what's that? That's a strength 5 BS6. Multiple shots D3+1. That's pretty good. It's also got the Spear of Kurnos, which he can lob, which is 18 inches, strength +1, -2, magical, multiple wounds D3. And also it fires like a bolt thrower. So it's basically a short range bolt thrower. And then but at BS6, that's going to be pretty decent. And then combat, strength +1, -2 AP, same stat basically. So multiple wounds D3. So he's really good as a character. I mean, he's unbreakable, which is great. He's got a benefit you can give to everyone. He's got stomp attacks. He's got good toughness, good wounds. He heals. He's got a ward save. I don't think he's got any armor on. I think it's just the ward, but I mean, a 5-up ward is still good. I just, he's very strong in my opinion. I do think it. It is pretty good. He's going to be quite popular, I think. So it's the first time we've really seen like a super special character. I mean, I know we've got other characters, but we've never had like in Old World. I'm trying to rack my brains now as I'm talking. Have we had a special character that's not just been like a support or foot hero? Like Prince of Pothas or Nekaf. I mean, Cetra, you could kind of argue is probably the other alternative. I mean, the Brett heroes are all like kind of the named one, like the Green Knight and stuff. They're not like big monstrous or big godlike heroes. We don't have like Ergrim Van Horseman or anything like that, or any big chaos characters, obviously, because of the timing. Even dwarfs are just gonna be on foot, aren't they? I mean, obviously they're quite hard, but I'm just trying to rack my brains. Like, we don't have like an Empire, we don't have Karl Franz or anything like that, do we? So yeah, and the Orcs don't have Azarag the Slaughterer or Gorbad Ironclaw or anything like that. So yeah, it is probably the first time we've had a big special character, especially in a journal. Because Cetra's got to be the only one, really. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you can think of another one, let me know. But I think it's cool. It's a cool model. It's the old models come back. I didn't take a picture, but yeah, I mean, they brought back this version of the model with the hounds. I actually really like the original one where you had the spear with like the 3 claws. But yeah, I mean, it's still a cool model, so that's good. So that's Orion. And then we've got Araloth, Lord of Talsyn. He's a Glade Lord. He's a Lord level hero. He's on foot. Heavy armor, shield, Spear of Talsyn. Got those special rules. The Skarn, the Eye Thief. That sounds cool. So he ignores all negative modifiers to his leadership, which is pretty useful, especially with the like Spirit Leech and Terror Calls and stuff like that. So that's quite good. 5-up ward, which is decent. And he says during the command phase, he may dispatch Skarn. So 1 to 2, he's out of reach. 3+, he descends. Nominate an enemy model of an 18. So there's a strength 4 hit -1. If he takes an unsaved wound, initiative and weapon skills reduced by D3 for the remainder of the game. Oh my god, that's pretty good. Spear of Talsyn, so in combat it's just -1 AP, armor, bane, magical. So yeah, fine. It's 170 points. He's quite expensive. Tough 3 wounds. Yeah, he's got a ward, but 4-up armor, 5-up ward. I mean, in a unit of Eternal Guard, he'd pretty decent. All those Guardians of Talsyn. Yeah, I mean, the Skarn and the Eye Thief's a cool rule. but whether or not you take him, I don't know. He seems expensive. Then we've got the normal unnamed Warden, which is you know, a Warden of Talsyn, and again, they can take a great weapon, they can take additional hand weapon, they can have a shield, can have magic items up to 75 points. They're a 125 point model. They've got the basically immune to psychology rule if he joins a unit, which is good and bad. It means you can't flee. So drilled, he's got elven reflexes, you know, close order, move through cover, parry, first strike, stubborn. So basically, if you're using a hand weapon and shield, or Asai, a spear and shield, you get an extra +1 armor save. And it could just be a Wood Elf Noble model you can use to represent it. So it's pretty cool. I mean, I think if you're going down this infantry route, some of the infantry they've got are dead good, because you know, I know it's not an infantry meta right now, but like the Guardians of Talsyn, you know, weapon skill 5 infantry, they're a bit pricey, 18 points, especially when they got, you know, but they got 2 attack space, and they've got spears and light armor, but I think they get the parry rule as well. Yeah, they do. So they get the extra save. So basically they're a 4-up save with their spear if they've got shields. You've got the Watchmaster, champion, standard musician. You can have magic, and you can have magic gear. So that opens up some options. And you can support attack to the flank or rear. And the spear is strength -1 AP, so just your normal strength, and fight an extra rank. But it does say that you cannot support if you charge, but during turn you have been charged. Yes, +1 to its initiative. I mean, you see your initiative 5 against a charging unit, which is pretty good. I mean, you're still probably going second. But they just say representative of Eternal Guard. So I don't know really what the difference is between these and normal Eternal Guard. I mean, they've got drilled, you know, maybe the parry rule. So, but you know, they're pricey, 18 points each. I mean, yeah, that's a premium for what you're getting. I mean, I think Blackguard used to be 18 points and they were very similar, but better, because I think they were higher strength. But anyway, then the other unit you've got is the Wood Elf Beast Pack. So you have a Beast Keeper. I must take one of the following. So you have up to 3 Deepwood Hounds, or up to 3 Forest Cats, up to 3 Sylvan Boars, or a Bear of Lauren. I mean, I have no idea what this thing is. It's so weird. It's got run with a pack and skirmishes. It says you cannot mix. So I guess you could have multiple beast keepers, but you could then have to have all the same type of beast. So you could have like forest cats led by some keepers, a bit like a squig herd, I guess. You're not subject to undisciplined and war beasts. Do not fear flaming attacks. Yeah. It's just strange, but I mean, cool. What do they do? Hound is fast, weapon skill 4, but then are you restricted to movement 5 with the Beastkeeper? Probably, yeah. So just a dog, isn't it? Then a cat is just the same, but a bit more an extra initiative, but less movement. The boar is less weapon skill, better strength, better toughness. And the bear is got an extra attack. I mean, it's like, sure. Weapon skill, strength and toughness 4, 2 attacks, 2 wounds. You're probably going to see lots of these bears. I think it's probably the best choice. I mean, if you're going to buy 2 dogs, I mean, it's more or less there anyway, isn't it? Yeah. So Forest Cat's got Armor Bane, Skirmishers. I think they're all Skirmishers. Sylvan Boar's got Furious Charge, Razor Tusks. The bear's got Armored Hide, Cleaving Blow. Yeah, so that's like the light killing blow that the War Lions have got. Yeah, it's fun, but I'm not sure. You might see them, but it's a bit of a weird unit, to be honest. You it might be okay. I just don't know. I mean, I don't know what the models are going to look like, if they're going to release any models. I think they used to be old animal models. Maybe they're re-releasing those. There's certainly no pictures of it in the book from what I could see. So yeah, bit of fun, bit unusual. I wasn't expecting beast packs in the book, to be honest, but there you go. Now this is interesting. So you end up with the Wood Elf Kindreds. So it allows you now to basically have a kindred, which is something they brought back, where it's like an extra sort of ability that you can add to a character. So it says Wood Elf nobles mages only. A character that does not belong to a noble kindred may belong to an altar kindred. A character that does may select one of the following. Units that have been joined by a character cannot use the character's leadership. So this is the altar one. So this is like, there was quite a popular altar noble with like the Hail of Doom arrow and great weapon used to make. So you've got these. So you've got Aspect of the Hound, reroll hit rolls of 1, them and then a unit they've joined. Aspect of the Bear. Basically, it says a character increases their strength and toughness by 1. I think that would be quite popular. Aspect of the Boar, armor piercing of the weapons by 1 when they charge, so you get like tusks, I guess. Cat is armor bane 1 and may re-roll failed rolls to hit during a challenge. It's okay. I think the Bear is probably the most useful one, but obviously you don't want it on your general because you can't use their leadership. So there you go. Noble kindred, so this is nobles and mages only. If you're not an altar noble, you can be have a noble kindred rather than altar kindred. So you've got the Glamour Weave, which is mages only. It gives you a 5-up ward and gains the Tree Spirit special rule. Pretty good. I mean, you're going to see that quite a lot, I imagine. I mean, it does mean you can't join normal units, I think, if you're a Tree Spirit, but then you could join Dryads, I guess, for example. But just getting a 5-up ward for 25 points is pretty good. I think mages mostly run around the edges anyway. I don't know if you can put 1 unicorns. I guess you can. Then you've got the Eternal Kindred. So you've got to be infantry. Reroll hit rolls of 1 during combat. And then any unit they've joined may reroll failed wound rolls during if they're within 6 of a special feature. Again, how many special features do we see on the tables? Very rarely, so I'm not sure that's worth having. Then you've got the Wild Rider Kindred. Then you mount on a steed or a great stag, only wear light armor. You gain counter charge, frenzy, furious charge, and talismanic toes. So nice if you want to put a character in your Wild Riders, I guess. And they're quite good rules, you know, counter charge and frenzy, furious charge. And you get a ward, 20 points is pretty good. You can only wear light armor, but you know, if you're putting a hero in one of those units for a bit more poke, then that's not too bad. Then you got the Scout Kindred, get quick shot and scout, so you can scout a hero. They're a bit underwhelming. I'm not really that excited about them. Maybe there's some combo and you're thinking, oh my god, that'd be amazing on whatever. But yeah. And then we've got the Law of the Wilds. So we've got this is a new law, so it's a new signature. And basically this is an enchantment on yourself. And it basically says, until the start of your next start of turn subphase, any enemy model that shoots at the unit must reroll any hit rolls of a natural 6. Now, this is really good in the poison meta at the moment. Loads of people are taking poison blocks, whether that's Night Goblins or Tomb King Bowman with the brooch. So obviously that turns the poison off. Obviously you still got to cast it. It's only on yourself, but it's on you and your unit. So it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Again, if you don't play anyone with shooting, it's kind of useless, but there you go. Then you've got the Fury of, this is the main law. So you've got Fury, Magic Missile on a 10, 18-inch, D3 plus 1, Strength 6, AP minus 2, and multiple wounds 2. That's actually really nice. It's not flaming, which is quite good because the blackened plate Shartok people seem to run around. I know they've got a ward anyway, but you know, being D3+1 strength 6 with armor piercing and it's multiple wounds 2, that's actually pretty scary, and it's got a decent range on it. It's a 10+ to cast, but that is a good magic missile. You've got Ariel's Blessing, which is enchantment, and that gives a friendly unit regen. That's a brilliant spell. It's a 5+ regen. So yeah, on a 9, fantastic spell. I mean, who doesn't want a 5+ regen save on their unit? The Spiteful Torrent, which is a magical vortex. It's got a range of 15. It's cast on a 10. It's the small template. It's dangerous terrain. It moves D6 randomly. Any unit moving the moon template touches 3d6 strength 2 with -1, and that's okay. It's a bit of poke damage, but you know, so it's not a terrible spell. So vortexes, I kind of like vortexes. They get around magic resistance and things like that. They're dangerous terrain, so they can kind of block fanatic paths. Obviously, there's no control over where that goes. Durfu's Wrath, which is an assailment, which is cast on a 10. So each model in the fighting rank of a unit that the caster engaged with must take an initiative test. Each model that fails takes D3 strength 4 hits with no armor save. So this is actually quite nasty. It's like it depends what you're fighting, but that could do a lot of damage. Even if they're initiative 3, that's half the guys in the front rank. And they're taking D3 strength 4 with no armor save, so that's probably going to kill each model that you do it on. Obviously, those hits don't spill into the unit; it's just that model. So yeah, it's a lot of rolling, but it is on a 10+. But I think on an ancient, that's a really good spell. Conveyance Hidden Pathways on an 8. You basically get reserve move and can do a quick turn even if it wouldn't be able to. So that's quite nice. Get another move in the shooting phase. It's brilliant if you've got a unit of like archers. You want to move forward, shoot, move back again. You know, or get your cavalry round the back, or for, you know, wild riders or something like that. You know, so yeah, pretty decent. Then you've got Sapping Blight, which is a hex. It's only range 12, it's quite short. So it's still start of turn sub phase. The target unit takes D3 minus D3 modified to its strength. So yeah, pretty good. I would say that you can target something in combat. Obviously, you've got quite low toughness being elves. I think that's probably the weakest, or like it's that and Spiteful Torrent are the two kind of weakest ones. Maybe Hidden Pathways, but it's still good. I mean, like it's effectively the same as giving you toughness if you're fighting a single enemy, because whichever stat you buff or reduce, it affects, you know, that wound roll. Yeah, so pretty good. So I think the Lord's really good. Like, I think most of the spells in there are useful. There's enough in there to the signature's okay, but obviously you don't have to take the signature. So yeah, I like the lore a lot. And you can't take that lore in a normal army unless you take a magic item, but I'll get onto that in a minute. So you've got new magic items, which is quite cool. So we've got Vol's Wrath, which is a 32-inch shooting thing. It says once per game, unless the wielder moved, it can be shot like a bolt thrower. So it's strength +1, -2, flaming attacks, magical, multiple wounds 2. So it's a war bow. There we go. Let's try to find out what it was. Yeah, 32-inch range. I mean, pretty good. Dave's Reaper, +1 strength, -1 AP, magical, 40 points. Enemy models must reroll any successful armor saves, which doesn't sound brilliant, but actually it's quite good. That's almost like getting 2 wounds to price of 1. And then you've got the Huntmaster's Pride. So it can only be taken in a Wild Hunt army of infamy. The multiple 2's wound only applies against models whose troop type is monstrous infantry, monstrous cavalry, monstrous creature, or behemoth. And that's a strength -2, magical attacks, multiple wounds 2. But yeah, it's okay. -2 AP is decent. It's not strike last, 2 hands, so pretty good. Blade of Endless Flame. So it extra attacks, flaming, magical, -1 AP. And then we've got Armor of Rebirth, or the Mantle of Rebirth. Light armor. In addition, it have regen 5 up, so obviously that's very good. Cloak of Tumbling Leaves, so troops type infantry or heavy infantry. Allows you to fly 10, gives you swift stride, but you can't join. So it's like Cloak of the Dunes, but quite cheap for what it is. Ariel's Favor, magic resistance 2 for 30 points. Obviously not quite as good as Brazen Collar, but still decent. Good on a unit champion if you're trying to keep the unit away from those nasty magic missiles. Orion's Favor, which is 25, single use. The bearer can re-roll any hit to hit or to wound rolls during the combat phase. So that sounds a little bit like the Paymaster's coin. So I don't know why. It almost the same thing, isn't it? Same points as well. I don't know. Bit more on theme, maybe. Got the Tapestry of Talsyn. There's a battle standard bearer and a host of Talsyn, army of infamy only. Increases their command range to 18. In addition, friendly units within the command improve their leadership. So that's pretty nice. +1 leadership and a bigger range for your re-rolling and things. Banner of the Wild Hunt is only in Orion's Wild Hunt army. Additional +1 combat result and a reroll pursuit. So it's a better war banner, but obviously you can combine that with a war banner, so it's even more static res. So I could see you taking like a battle standard with this, and then in a unit of Wild Riders with a war banner. So you're going to be on like +4 static res before you've done anything. You know, that's just for the 2 banners and the two bonuses. Standard of Morning's Chill. You can cast Swirling Mist from the Lord of Wilds as a bound spell. So that's the poison turn off. So that might be quite popular if you're facing that regularly or you want to protect a unit from that. And then you've got Banner of Springtide. It gives you Quick Shot, which again might be good if you've got it in a unit of archers, assuming they can have magical banners. I'm sure they can. We've got the Crown of Antlers. Gives you the wearer Armor Bane 1 impact hits. In the impact hits of Armor Pierce of 2. So it gives, so it's pretty good. The Moonstone's interesting. It gives you a bound to do the Forest Walker spell. It's a little bit unusual because it's a 1 use only and a bound spell, so you might just not cast it. You're pretty unlucky, but yeah. You've got Blight Tipped Arrows, which is a common, but they're single use. A model with a longbow can be fired from their longbow. If an enemy model takes an unsaved wound at the beginning of the start of turn subphase, take a toughness test. If the test is failed, the model takes a single wound, no armor, regen saves. So it's like a dot basically you put on. But it's both players' turns because it says subsequent start of turn subphases. So it's both people. And it's common. So if you have multiple people with this and they all shot the same target, you might have to roll 3 dice a turn. But you have to take an unsaved wound. So it's like, it might be quite good against monsters and things. Yeah, I'm not sure. Might be an answer for dragons if you get lucky. It is only 1 use though. Orb of Midsummer. You can re-roll casting roll once per turn. That's great. 35 points, a little bit steep, but still decent. Heartwood Pendant. This gives you access to Lord of the Wilds for 15 points. And you've got Sigil of the Mage Queen. You can use it before casting a roll. They may have +2 to the casting result, and that's 25. That's pretty good. I mean, it's better than a power score, in my opinion. That's it. One thing I did notice in the book, a little sneaky picture here. These are the old school Dryads. I really like these models. So if they're bringing these back, I think that's really cool. These are like the old metals. I remember they used to be pretty expensive, if I remember correctly. Like you got 2 in a blister, and then eventually they did it down to 1 for like a £5 each, I think. And that was pretty expensive back in the day. So I was like, okay, cool. I never really had a unit of those, but I always loved them. And there's another little sneaky pick of one on the edge of the where you've got the another army shot, and there's one just poking on the side. So it looks like most of the other models are from like the most recent 8th edition, but there are some old school classics with the Dryads and the Forest Dragon. Don't like the Treeman, this one. I really like the older Treeman. He was really cool. And obviously there's the old Durfu model. So get your eBay pennies ready for those, I think. But yeah, that's it. That's the Wood Elf book. I don't know. I mean, that's just getting what's in it. I haven't done any list text or anything. Wood Elves aren't really my thing. I do have some Wood Elves from when I was a kiddie back in the day, but I think I got traumatized during 6th edition with my Tomb Kings being beaten up by Wood Elves all the time because they were just absolutely broken. So they're not really my thing. What do I think of the Army of Infamies? I don't think the Wild Hunt list is that good. I think you're too restricted on what you can take. I think Orion's great. So if you want to do an Orion Wild Rider heavy army and be really aggressive, it might be decent. You've still got access to like Warhawk Rider, Sister to Fawn. I think you can take like some scouts and things, so maybe you get a little bit of shooting in there. The standard list, the host of Talsyn list. I think I really like Deepwood Scouts and the Eternal Guard. I think they're really cool models. It's not an infantry meta. I think there's some really good things you can do now. We've got like the regen spell. You've got like you can get MR on a unit. You can make them immune to psychology with the Warden. So you have to worry about running away. It doesn't mean you can't flee. You've got some ways to make the infantry unit stick around and not go anywhere. I think they're okay. I just don't know how viable running blocks of infantry are in Wood Elves. But then I say that, then they normally struggle because they are just bitty and they don't really go anywhere. Time will tell. People who've been playing Wood Elves will have more of an opinion on this than me. I've only played against Wood Elves once. So from what I understood is they felt a bit underwhelming shooting wise. Obviously, you've got the new Kindreds, you've got the new magic law, so that might help. In terms of the new units with the Warden, the Guardians, which are basically like fancy Eternal Guard, and the Beast Packs, I don't really think they add a lot. I think they already had access to a lot anyway in their books. I don't think they needed anything really. In terms of new units, but they obviously got some new rules, and obviously Orion is probably the biggest thing in the book in terms of power boost to the faction, along with the magic law and the kindreds and some of the items. I think really that's mostly when I look at an Arcane Journal, that's where the power happens. It's rare that the Mortuary Cult will happen twice, like where that becomes the Tomb King list to run. Although I know some people have been running normal mixed host with 4 Terror Causes and things like that. So I know Scott was running that. But I think some of the stuff in the Tomb King Journal really elevated them into that top tier. And again, like the Warp Fire Dragon, the Gargantuan Spawns, things like that, and the Heralds really elevated them. I think there's some cool stuff in the Orc and Goblin Journal, but again, it feels a little bit like that with like the Troll Law and the Troll List. It's like, yeah, it's okay, but is it better than running the normal army? And is the Nomadic War, where you can't take Night Goblins, you can't take Fanatics, you can't take Doom Divers, is that good enough? I like it, but then I think it's more of a fun choice than it is a rounded competitive tournament choice. That's kind of what I aim my kind of content at. Just because you lose the flexibility to take other things. So with this Arcane Journal, I do like it. I did feel a little bit underwhelmed. I think there wasn't enough in it to make me get really excited. Maybe it's because I'm not into the faction. But none of the armies of infamy really popped off. The only one, the anti-Beastman Talsyn one kind of appealed to me more. But then I just think if you're not playing Beastman, there aren't special features. Like, what are you getting out of it other than access to the magic lore and those new units, which are okay. Yeah, but Orion was probably the best thing in the book. Like, if you're playing Wood Elves, he's a great alternative to taking a dragon, and I think he'll be very popular, and he'll be very, very effective in your games. So I think we'll see a lot of Orion on the tables in Wood Elf armies. But then if the new old Forest Dragon kit comes out, then that's going to be popular as well. So yeah, I might put together a little Wood Elf force just so I've got access to it. I kind of, with Old World, because of the slow pacing of it and the sort of the nostalgia of the models, I kind of feel myself buying and collecting, even if I'm not playing the faction, and I end up with an army and I could just paint it. So at the moment I've got like a dwarf army, I've got an orc and goblin army now, I've got like a chaos army, I've got a high elf army, I've got a Tomb King army. So most of the factions I end up having a little force, so I might put some Wood Elves together. Who knows? I mean, just to see how they play, really. It'd be good to see them on the tournament circuit a bit more. I know that obviously the availability of the models been a big factor, so this will help because they'll release the models, and obviously that might inspire a few people to collect them. So I quite like it. I mean, I'm a big fan of all the Arcane Journals, really. Anything that gets us more people into Old World is great. So I know this is going to be hotly anticipated. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the show. Let me know what you think below. And I might follow this up with a list tech once I've spoken to some Wood Elf players and got their opinion on it. I know Martin Bunting has played a lot of Wood Elf games. It was the first actually UK master all the way back. I think it was 2010 with Wood Elves. I had the pleasure of playing at Portsmouth, a Hobbies event last year for the tournament, and he was playing Wood Elves then. That's the only time I played Wood Elves, and it was a very close game, but I was using a Chaos Dragon and I managed to get out Wood Elf him with my fleas and stuff. We did misplay a couple things, and because we were still quite new to the game back at that point. So yeah, so hopefully we'll see, but I might get some opinions and then write some lists. I think I need a little bit of time to marinate on it, but this is just a preview of what's in the book. Hopefully you start some discussion. Let me know in the comments below if you've got an idea for an army list or there's something in there that I glossed over that you think's really good. Yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one, and take care.